Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. And I just want to let you know, thank you. I see you all here today. So thank you so much for showing up for this sort of special edition live that I kind of felt it important to do this live because I've been doing a lot of heavy videos lately and really researching a lot of totally insane stuff that is just mind blowing. And I sometimes don't realize how heavy it is until I have done it and then posted it. And then all of the amazing comments you all send to me and checking in on me and all of that. So I just want to say first off, thank you so much for checking in on me. It means that you care, and I see that, and it means a lot to me. It actually does. I am fine. I just want you all to know I'm fine. I'm mad more than anything, more than anything in the world. I'm mad. So I think you all need to see that from me. I don't feel in any way my mental health is at risk. I go to therapy. I hope you all know that I have a therapist every week. So that being said, I deal a lot with my mental health care, but I just want to say that first. And secondly, I feel I want to check in with all of you. So I see you all here, and I really it means a lot to me that you're showing up. And I'll do some shout outs, like we do on our therapy day. So if you all just want to tell me where you're from, and then I'll do, if you're your first time here or whatever, I like to do shout outs to see where everyone is from, because I think it's kind of cool. We have amassed a large population of people from around the world. So first, I see Northern Maine. I see someone saying, "Hey, Tramp." Ontario, Canada's in the house. Manchester, UK's in the house. Let me keep scrolling here. Nova Scotia's in the house. Right on. Simi Valley's in the house. Nova Scotia again is in the house. So, I just really, Florida's in the house. California's in the house. Denmark's in the house. Utah's in the house. New York, upstate New York, Colorado Springs is in the house. Right on, everybody. You're so beautiful and awesome. Rural New Jersey's in the house. Arizona's in the house. British Columbia's in the house. It's moving fast. So if I miss you, know I love you, and I will try to shout you out. South Carolina, Toronto. Wow, you guys, you're so great. British Columbia, New Zealand's in the house. I'm telling you, we have a worldwide audience here, you guys. Sacramento, Toronto, Oroville, Washington's in the house. Michigan, Portland, NOLA. Right on. I live there. Victoria, Australia's in the house. Right on. Hollywood's in the house, but you're in Portland. Right on. That's excellent. Netherlands, Virginia. Where's that? Darlington, UK's in the house. Vermont's in the house. Allentown, Pennsylvania's in the house. And we got Israel in the house. Right on. We got Germany in the house. Right on. Portland, send some love over there to the Middle East, my friends, to my Israeli friends, and everyone who's suffering over there. It's horrible. So Minnesota's in the house. That's a whole other conversation that it's a hard conversation, but let's just send everybody love in the Middle East who deserves it. So that being said, Italy, Eastern Ontario's in the house. Australia's in the house. I love you guys so much. It really means the world to me that you see what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I'm here. Seattle's in the house. We need you, Seattle. You've got a lot of trans stuff going on there that scares me. So I want to say this first, okay? I think I already said that first and that first. But again, here's what I want to say. Most importantly, I make these videos with such intensity because I feel a need as an elder and somebody who is a transsexual. You can believe that we don't exist. You can believe all of that, what you want. You know that that's where I stand. I will never force you to believe what I did or who I am, or to ever accept that. You don't have to. I prefer for you to see me as a human being than as a transsexual, because that's how transsexuals are. We want to just be men and women and live in the world, but we acknowledge our disorder. It's not normal. Everybody, I'm just going to tell you something right here. It's not normal to feel this way. We don't want to encourage children to feel this way. We don't want to encourage children to think I can become something else by taking medicine and cutting off my boobs and getting penis surgery or vagina. We do not want to do that. We have never wanted to do that, nor should we ever want to do that. And I need you to understand, I do not want to do that. I am not here to encourage any young person or even any adult, to be honest with you. I'm not here to encourage this. I am here because it did help me, and I do want people to see that this exists, okay? But what I also want people to understand is you have to go through a large amount of mental health care before you even think about doing what I did. And I don't care if you think I'm judging, and I don't care if you think, oh, Buck, you're throwing the rest of the trans people under the bus. If that's how you want to think, you go right ahead, friend. I have no issues with you thinking I'm trying to throw people under the bus, because people who have actually a sense, okay, of integrity and understanding will sit down and listen to me with the fact that I have super amount of knowledge and that I come to this with love in my heart. I do not come to this with hate in my heart. What I hate is children being put in a position to make a choice that no child in the whole wide world ever can make this choice, ever. I don't care what child you think you have. I don't care what good trans mom you think you are. I don't care what you think about your trans kid. I am telling you, your child is not trans. Your child is dealing with some emotional stuff. Your child has some things going on. You need to get that child into some serious mental health care, okay? And you need to back off of thinking transitioning is in any way, shape, or form going to help that child. It is going to destroy that child. I know, because I am this person, number one, and I have interviewed. I'm not just sitting here speaking out of my ass, people. I have interviewed young people who were put on hormones, who were put on puberty blockers, and wish to God they were never. I have not spoken to one trans kid who is now an adult who says it was the best thing they ever did. I have not. I have not. They've all said they wish they didn't do it. So don't tell me as if I'm here because I believe in reality and I believe in truth. And I believe if I don't make these videos that are so insane that we are being disingenuous as trans people, we are also being disingenuous as adults. Okay. Thank you, Sherry, for being a member. I totally appreciate that. Thank you all. Thank you all for supporting me financially, with membership, with just showing up. I will never ask you for money or anything ever. If you want to throw me, you throw it to me, and I will fully appreciate that. But I want you to understand here that just you showing up and exactly hitting the like button, those are the things that I ask you to do. Those are the things that push this. Thank you. I will never ask you for anything except to support what I'm saying here. And for us as a community of adults, we are all adults here. We owe it to children to say the truth. You are not trans, kiddo. You are, something else is going on. Let's figure it out. Let's go to therapy. Let's talk to some elder trans people who will actually tell you no. Every kid that comes to me and says, hey, Trampa, I think I'm trans. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You think you're trans. Do you see? Are you hearing the words? Number one. Number two, there's no such thing as being trans. Trans is a mental disorder. This is why I keep telling you all, they keep taking it out of a mental disorder. You know why they do that? I'm sure you're all smart enough to understand why they're doing that. They do it so these kids can identify as trans, because you can't identify as a mental disorder. So if they take it off the table as a mental disorder and anyone can be trans, then every little kid in the universe can say they're trans. Did I tell you all this? So my kiddo is 12. He goes to camp, and he goes to this nerdy little space camp, and because he's a little nerd, and he goes to the nerd space camp, and there he is in the space camp. He comes back and he's like, hey, Buck, guess what? I'm like, what? He calls me Buck because I'm his stepdad, and that's all good. And he has his actual biological dad is in my life and in our life. And I think I tell you that all the time. We have a three-way relationship, my wife and his ex, and we're solid family. I love him so much. I'm not his dad. I'm his stepdad. Anyway, he calls me Buck, and he's like, hey, Buck, guess what? I'm like, what? He goes, guess what happened at space camp? I'm like, what? And he goes, all. He didn't say some. He said all the girls at space camp identified as trans. I'm like, now these kids are 12-year-old kids, 12, 13-year-old kids, okay? He said they all identified as trans. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. And then he said, you know what their pronouns were? And I was like, oh my God, dude, what? And he goes, he, it. Their pronouns were he, it. That in itself says to me so much, not only as a human being, not only as a 62-year-old who's been involved in everything from punk rock to drugs to homelessness. This says everything to me. It says self-worth. These children have no self-worth. They're identifying as he, it. Okay? It is a slur. It means you are not okay with yourself. And every girl in the camp was trans. And then do you know what my kiddo said to me? Because I teach this guy a lot. And he said to me, oh, they're just doing it for attention. He actually said that to me. I never had told him that. I tell him about certain things, but I never said, he said that on his own. He said they're doing it for attention. And I was like, right on, kiddo. You are so right. That's exactly what they're doing. But you guys, it is insane to me that every girl at the camp was trans. I said, were there any boys at the camp who are identifying as trans? Nope. Not one boy. Come on, you guys. Let's get it together here. These young girls are suffering. They are suffering beyond belief. If we are we all just putting our head in the sand? Because I think we are. But one thing I want to say is this. This last video that I just did, that's heartbreaking with the mother who lost her daughter. Okay. I want to tell you this. I'm going to get all the super chats at the end. So thank you for sending them. I appreciate it. I'm going to get that at the end. But I want to say this. That mother, okay, lost her daughter. And these videos and the comments you are all leaving are insanely amazing in a sense that you get what I'm saying. You're all pissed. I have like over 600 comments on that video I just released last night. Over 600 comments. Not one of them calling me transphobic. Not one of them calling me a loser. Not one of them telling me to shut up. Not one of them. So far that all of them I read. Every single one of and this says so much, everybody. You're all saying thank you to me. That means that the tide is turning. It literally means the tide is turning. It means you and I are starting to say, wait a minute, we're not going to stand for this anymore. We are not going to. This happened 3 years ago, by the way. It didn't happen yesterday. This mother lost her daughter 3 years ago to CPS. Okay. And I live in California. I live in Los Angeles. Oh my God. They made a bill here in California called a sanctuary state, where anyone can go and bring their child here if they're trans, and they could take their child from another parent and bring them to California. Did you know that? And we're a sanctuary state. So is Minnesota, where you can bring your trans kid and no one can come and get it. It's disgusting. Now, I want to say this because we're in a very weird political space right now. I don't care where I don't care who you're voting for. I actually don't, just so you know. I personally am disgusted by it all. I am. As a American, I'm disgusted by our political system. I'm disgusted by this two-party gross, disgusting shit. I think both candidates are just bleh. I believe one is better than the other. I'm not going to tell you. It's just I'm not going to expose my political stance here because I don't want to sideline you. And a lot of times when you say who you're politically aligned with, people get all pissed and they don't. I want you to hear me. I don't want you to take me as my political beliefs. Okay. I think you all know I'm a little bit, I would say I'm a middle ground, conservative, liberal type person. I'm a Democrat. Okay. I'm an actual Democratic person who believes in democracy. Okay. And right now it looks like the Republican Party is more of a democracy than the actual Democrats. It's shocking. But that being said, when people call me right wing because I don't align with, I'm like, go F yourself. First off, that's my party too. You don't get to assign who you want to be the presidential candidate without asking me. I'm an actual voter. You are representing me. Do you know the president actually represents us? Our government represents us. So if I don't feel in any way, shape, or form that Kamala Harris represents me, I did not pick her, and I would not have picked her at all, just so you know. But I want everybody to understand I am a Democrat, okay? And I'm not going to just leave my party because they don't. That's not how I work. It's like saying I'm going to leave the trans place because they don't like. No, I'm not leaving. And in fact, I'm pushing back on the trans community, because if I don't push back on the trans community, who's going to push back on them? They're going to go like a runaway fucking train, which they already are. It's up to me and the elders and the real trans people to stay connected to that trans community in order to get it back into alignment, if that makes sense. So no one's going to punk out me and tell me you're a right wing. You know what? First off, at this point, I probably would rather be right wing, but they're using it as an insult, if that makes sense, right? Don't fucking call me names like that. If you can't have an actual debate, which most people can't, okay? If you can't have a debate with me, then you're not even worth my time, which is the majority of these trans activists and influencers. They're all fake. They're a fraud. They won't have a conversation with you in any way, shape, or form. And I don't understand why you and I probably come from different political stances, though I kind of don't think we do. I think we're pretty much all in alignment about what we want for the country, what we want for our kids, what we want for the rest of the world. I mean, I really believe you and I are in complete alignment. We might be different political parties, but I in no way, shape, or form feel that me and you are not in alignment. And that's the way this country is supposed to work. Did you know that? We're supposed to be able to have conversation. As my parents are full-blown Republicans. They've always been. I grew up in a Republican household. Both my sisters are. I never was. We all have conversation at my house. We have amazing conversation at my parents' house. That's what I always picture. I picture me and you sitting at the table right now with our coffee or our water or whatever, and just saying, hey, Buck, but what about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, well, okay, but what about X, Y, and Z? Okay. And then isn't that how we're supposed to be acting as adults? We're literally supposed to be having conversation. We're supposed to disagree to agree. What is the number one thing? I'm going to ask you while I have a sip of my coffee, and I want you all to put here in the chat. What's the number one thing you want to see changed in this country? Just whatever that is. Don't be shy and don't feel judged or any. I really want to see, what is the number one thing that you think we all need to see in this country right now as change? It could be one or two things. You could put one or two things, okay? And I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee, and I want to see this, because I'll bet you we're in alignment. I'll bet you, as Republican and Democrats, we are in alignment. You watch. Medicare, idiocracy, the economy, children left alone, unity, selfish, greedy, libertarian. Okay, you're a libertarian. Reverse the idiocracy, inflation reduction, economy, children rights and protection, tax the rich. Okay, in censorship, affordable housing, the kids, no censorship, conversation not being shut down, religious beliefs, children. I'm going to tell you right now, we're all in alignment. The homeless, common sense, economy, immigration, women's rights, in corporate control. Oh my God, totally. I think that's at the head of my thing right there. Humans embracing reason, common sense, living wage, in censorship, equality. Look at freedom, economy, freedom. I'm literally in alignment with all of you. And I bet a lot of you are probably Republican. I can prove to you that we as Americans, no matter what party you are with, literally want the same thing. This is what they're doing. They're dividing us. They're making it seem as if me and you don't agree with each other, right? They're making it seem as if, right? It's the extreme, Victor. Victor makes the great point. extreme right and left. This is the problem. And those are the people who are dividing us. Okay. They are dividing us. You and I are not divided as Americans. We actually like each other. We actually care about each other. We actually want, many Democrats are voting for Trump, Dharma. This is an actual fact right here. Right here. That doesn't make you not a Democrat in any way, shape, or form. That's the freedom of this. That is the freedom and the beauty of America. I don't care what party you're with. You still get to choose who you want to vote for. That is the beauty of our country. And they're trying to tell us that we don't like each other. They're trying to tell us that either you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. That's not true. You're only checking a box, guys and girls and people. You're only checking a fucking box with a pen. Are you going to give it that much power? Don't you dare go to the polls with, I can only vote for a Democrat or I can only vote for a Republican because I am that. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a human being first. You're an American. You all care about this country. I just proved it. I just proved it right there. Me and you are in alignment. We want the same things. We want a better economy. We want a better future for our children, right? We want a better system. We want freedom of speech. We want freedom of choice. We want freedom of religion. We want to have the freedom to do and what we need to do. And the only things we don't want are people coming into this country illegally. That should not happen. And that has nothing to do with race or any of that. So put that over there. Okay. I lived in Mexico for 10 years. Let me tell you something. Their shit is solid. They don't just let us come over there. Let me tell you something. I lived in another country for 10 years. You don't just get to go live in Mexico. They look at your paperwork like a fucking hawk. Okay. I have an actual Mexico green card, which I had to earn. It wasn't given to me. I had to earn that green card. I had to work and go back and forth, bring business there. I had to do so many things, hire people to work for me, pay taxes into the economy of Mexico. I had to do it all. So why is it okay for Mexico to have a very hard-lined immigration policy, but when America does it, we're racist? Get a grip, people. Number one. Number two, it's about Americans. Americans come first. We can't save. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. It's actually frustrating. Do you know what they tell you in an airplane? Do you all know what they tell you? They tell you, put your air mask on first before you can save others. Before you put the air mask on the other person, put it on yourself. So if America isn't putting their air mask on first, how are we going to help everybody the fuck else when we're doling out all of our fucking money? I live in LA, in Hollywood, tent city, by the way. I am not happy because first off, I feel for those people. It is very sad to watch people homeless, not just the people you would think are homeless. I see families in tents parked in front of my house. Okay. It's sad. It's wrong. Why do we have people in tents in our country and then doling out billions of dollars to help everybody else? Why? Why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense. And then letting other people come. You can come. My father is an immigrant from Canada. Both of my grandparents are immigrants from Scotland and Ireland. I bet we're all attached to immigrants on some level. I have the paperwork from my actual grandmother coming to this country on a ship. My mom gave it to me. She's in a manifest. She had to have an actual sponsor. I have it. She has a sponsor in Winnipeg, Canada, that brought her over to be responsible. There was a system that we had for people to come in this country. All of a sudden, you don't need to have a system and anyone. What? That's not democracy. That is not democracy. That is something else. And when we start opening the gates for everyone to come in, that says to me, we don't care about our own people. We've got to care about Americans. We've got to care about American children. We've got to care about our own health care. We've got to care about our own jobs, our own housing, our own way of being. Once you have a stable economy, guess what happens? Let me tell you what happens. It's super easy. Everyone's happy, and then everyone wants to help everyone else. Think about this. I'll give you a little story here. I was once homeless. I was once a cracked out homeless person. Prostitution, homelessness, crack, lost beyond belief. Beyond belief. I can't even believe I'm sitting here talking to you. It's unbelievable. I know that space. How did I get out of that space? How? How come I'm sitting here today, 30 something years off of that shit, fucking moving forward? I have an amazing life. I never thought I could be this person ever in a million years. How did I get here? Me. Me. I made the choice. I said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Either I'm going to die or I'm going to get sober. It was an actual factual thing. I made it happen. So, God, when we tell people that, oh my God, we have to start telling people to take fucking responsibility for themselves. Do you know how much help we have in this country? Do you know there's homeless shelters, there's spaces you can go. Why do immigrant people come here and become something and open businesses and do things and have 50 fucking people living in that apartment with them? And then eventually they're like completely successful and build their own businesses because they utilize the system we have in place. I am not a drugged out loser anymore because I took responsibility for myself. Not to say that there wasn't people around me that helped me, but I took responsibility. Why are we not teaching people to take responsibility for themselves? This is where I'm going to parlay into kids. The kids are not all right, people. Why are the kids not all right? It's because we are telling the kids that they can be fucked up. We are telling the kids that, oh my God, poor you. Somebody said your pronoun wrong. You're trans. We're literally handing them victimhood. Anyone who is anything in this country knows damn well that a kid will pull and pull and pull until they can get as much as they can. And the minute you pull the gates down, they're fucked and they know it. And then they got to do their homework. But if we are continually handing these kids, you're a victim, you're bad, nobody believes you, your parents hate you, CPS is going to take you, you're trans, here's some hormones, cut your titties off, you're trans, you're really a man. Exactly the videos I have posted. 3 of them. 3 videos. That's what I'm trying to get to here. We as adults are responsible for the kids are not all right. Our government has taken over. That is not America. Communism is at the tip of all of this. Don't care if you believe me or not. I'm a 62-year-old tranny. I know a lot. Not to say I'm smarter than you. It's all my opinion. Take it or leave it. And in fact, we can have a conversation about it. But I'm telling you, there is factions and you can taste the communism. When the fucking CPS takes a child away from a loving household and plucks it into a foster home. And if you know anything about foster care, you're going to throw up. There's no help. There's no caring for a child in foster care. How do I know? How does Trampo know? I actually was going to be a foster parent. I went through foster training. Okay. I went through foster training. I was going to get foster kids until I didn't. Until I couldn't even handle it. And I was crying through the whole fucking session. I'm not doing that. I'm not bringing those kids home to my house. No way. I already have a kid. He would be destroyed from those foster kids. They're a mess. Why are these foster kids a mess? I'll tell you why. The system doesn't care about the kids. The kids are not all right because nobody gives a shit. So let's just make these kids trans. Let's use them as an experiment. If you don't think transing kids is an experiment, you're lost. You're lost. They're lost, these kids. They need discipline, they need structure, they need to be put in a space where there's not other fucked up kids. They need to be put in a space where no one's going to start slamming testosterone into them. It is actually insane. I really do believe they're using these kids as an experiment. And this last one that I did, and why I sit here today with you on a special edition, is because we cannot let this happen. That child, that 19-year-old child, 3 years in foster care, unalived themselves with a train. I mean, I just, what? How many more stories do we all need? How much more do we all need to start pushing back? Guess what? You and I have power. Why do you believe that you have power? Do you actually believe you have power? I want to know this. Put a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Are you voting in this election? Put a thumbs up. Are you voting? Or you're not voting? I want to see how many people in this room. We have a good group of people today. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it and participating in this. I want to see how many of you are voting, and I want to see how many of you aren't voting because you have power. See, there's somebody who's not voting, and I understand that. So we have mostly everybody. We have a person not voting, voting. All Americans in here pretty much are voting. Oh, there's another no vote. And I get why you're not voting. I've actually thought not to vote. I actually did, to be honest with you. I thought I just feel, is it more powerful? See, not sure. That's actually pretty amazing how many people here are not or even thinking about it, right? And more people in here are voting for Trump than Harris, by the way, which I don't blame you, to be honest with you. Majority of people are. I would say more people that are undecided and not. I haven't voted in 25 years. Wow, that's actually fascinating. Not. I actually thought to myself, what if many of us chose not to vote? What do you think? What if the majority of Americans decided not to vote? How would that be powerful? Would that fuck up the whole system? I wonder about that, right? Because me and you have power. I think we're being duped into this idea that we don't have power. We're being duped into this idea that also that you're forced to vote for a certain person, right? I believe that people are missing the point with democracy, but I don't believe that the democracy actually exists anymore. I actually don't. I'm disenchanted. I am. I'm very much like sad about America. I believe this country needs a big shot of testosterone. I don't know how else to put it. I think we need to plug in some. It needs a big ass syringe of something's wrong. Something's off because American people aren't bad people. We're actually awesome. We are really awesome people. And I really know that. I travel, I go around, I meet people. I'm a very friendly kind of person, if you didn't know that about me. I'm the guy who chats with everybody on the dog walk. I'm the guy who's always making conversation. People are awesome. We are really awesome people. We are. The majority of us care. The majority of us want to have conversation. The majority of us are really in the middle. I do believe that. And I believe that we all want what we put earlier. We want a better economy. We want better shit for our kids. We want jobs. We want to have a stable environment. We want to have food on our table. It's real basic. We're not asking for a lot, right? We're just not. We're asking to have an awesome, comfortable life. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking to all be billionaires. I don't even think you want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. That sounds like too much work. I just want to have a nice income and a beautiful home and my kids and my wife and go running every day and work out at the gym and watch movies and PlayStation. And we just all want the basics. But I don't think and dignity. and we all want to be able to choose whatever faith we want to choose. If you want to be a Christian, right on. If you want to be Jewish, you go right on. If you want to be a Buddhist, right, all of it, a vegan, whatever you want to be. That's the basis of this country. But somehow it's been lost. You're right. We have really bad gangs. Okay, but those aren't American. That's the other part of the piece I keep trying to say here. Why are these young people going into gangs? Why do you think so many young people are being pushed towards a more sort of off the grid type lifestyle, right? I was a bad kid. I'm going to tell you all that. I really wasn't great. And I did get messed up, not in necessarily gangs, but I was around them in my early 20s. I was around the cocaine stuff. I was around drugs. I was doing bad shit. I stole a car. I got caught. I went to jail, and like I did such stupid kid shit, right? It's why I can really sit here and really I toe these weird sort of line. I'm in this really weird space because I was in a bad space, and now I'm in a really good space. And I think because of my experience of not only living on the streets and smoking crack and being around the cocaine people and thinking I was a gangster and all of these kinds of things, I really can bring this sort of space that says people like me get into those spaces because we're not okay. We're not. I wasn't okay. I was having a lot of mental problems. And instead of me being able to take care of the mental problems, I did coke and all this other shit. And I turned into a nutcase. And once I got sober and I had a direction, my whole life changed. Right. And I got faith in my life and I got all kinds of great things. And I understood I'm not the end all be all. The universe is the end all be all. Okay. And it is a very, very hard lesson that I learned 30 something years ago, but that hard lesson has stayed with me. And that hard lesson has said to me, now you must pass it on to the younger generation. But you know, the younger generation never wants to hear from the old generation. I'm now Trampa, right? Sit down, Trampa. Sit down. You don't know shit. I'm like, actually, I know a lot more than you would actually believe, but I've been in very dark, dark spaces. Amazing that I'm here. Amazing that I'm here. And it's a gift. The thing with transitioning for the people that need to actually do it as adults, it's a gift. I believe this is a gift. It's a privilege. It is not owed to me. This is not owed to me in any way, shape, or form. This is something I worked towards. This is something I appreciate. It is something I have gratitude towards every day. It is something I will never lie to you about. It is something that I feel very stable in. And if we don't have stability in our lives, whatever that means to any of us in this space, it could be your housing, it could be your job, it could be your faith, it could be sobriety, it could be so many things. If you're off, then everything else goes off with it. Just that little tilt. But when you're this way, it can't tilt. So you're really on a solid foundation. I don't care what that tilt is, but if you're tilting on some way, it's sliding. You see what happens? I'm sliding. And we've got to get back to stability. The kids are like this. The kids are really tilting because no one's helping them get to stability. When you pump a child full of hormones at 16 and you tell a kid to cut their boobs off at 16 and you tell a kid they're going to change their sex at 16, you're an asshole. Okay? I'm going to say it straight to your face. You're an asshole. Because it's not true. So there's these weird ass parents out there who are transing their children. I sure hope, I wonder if there's a trans parent. Is there a trans parent here? Is there? That would be really great. I doubt it. Trans parents hate me because I tell them your kid isn't trans. What are you doing? Why are you doing that to your child? Their child will grow up to hate you. Okay? If you have a trans kid, you're going to lose your kid. You might have your kid now, and your kid might be all the happy, happy TikTok tranny, but you're going to lose your kid. In the long run, your kid is going to turn around and blame you. Every right to do that. because I'm telling you, the information is out there for you. You are only listening to one side of the story. Do you do that with everything? Let's say you're going to invest your money into some kind of stock. Are you doing your research on that? Or you just throw your money at the stock? No, of course you don't. You're doing research and finding out when it goes live, when it goes low, how's it going, when's it sell, all those kinds of things, right? It's Munchausen. It 100%. We need to call the parents out. We also need to give the parents some more information on the other side. Okay, we need to fight against these trans activists. Trans activists, 21 is a kid, but it's a kid, a 21-year-old can make their choice. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about 18, even 18. Let's 18, I think, is an adult. I'm talking about any parent, especially a 10-year-old, who thinks their kid is trans. Your kid is not trans. Your kid needs love and needs acceptance and needs to be pulled out of whatever group they're hanging in and needs to be taken off TikTok, social media, get into a sports outside, baseball, football, soccer, whatever. Get them into a normal space. It's not normal for a kid to feel trans. And let me just remind you, trans is not an identity. Trans is a mental disorder. So when a kid says, I'm trans, that's the red flag. If a kid says, Mom, I feel like a girl or I feel like a boy, okay, cool. Right. Then just move on. Move on. Okay, fine. I don't care. We're not going to make a big deal about you feeling like a boy or a girl. That's where you're fucking up. You just got to be like, okay, cool. Right on. My kid is like, I'm twerking. I'm like, I don't care. Twerk all you want, dude. Like, I'm going over here, right? Why are you paying so much attention? They want attention. I just read a comment from somebody that told me that they made their kid who said they were trans watch my videos, right? Who kept saying they're trans and getting mad because the parents wouldn't do their pronouns and doing all that shit and and then the parents were ignoring the kid. Started to ignore the kid. And eventually the kid grew out of it. And then the kid came back later on and said, thank you, Mom and Dad. You know what? All I wanted was your attention. The kid admitted it. They want attention. That's what kids want. They want attention. They get mad over the stupidest shit. You've got to learn how to become an adult around children. And if you're going to play into everything a child does, you're not being, first off, I'm going to make a judgment here. You're not being a good parent if you're going to fall into everything your fucking kid says. My kid got mad at me because I rented this movie on Amazon and wanted to stay at home and watch it. And he got mad at me because he wanted to go to the movie theater. Go to the movie theater with your mom then. I don't care. I'm watching it here. Like, what? Boundaries, people. Children need boundaries. Do you know that children need to have a structure? I always equate it with an animal. If you just get a dog and you let the dog run around the backyard and chew shit up, forever that dog is going to chew shit up. Forever. But if you sit that dog down and you are the master and that is the dog, and that dog knows when you say sit, lay, go out, poo outside, it does it. Because it's a hierarchy and it's discipline and it's structure. Kids are the exact same way as animals. They need structure. So when you say to a kid, I'm not going to play your pronoun game, and I don't care if you're trans. I actually don't care. Do your thing. And then those kids go to school and say, my parents aren't affirming my gender. And then the school gets involved because you're not playing into the kid's little fantasy. And then the kid plucks that kid out of a loving home, because for you to tell me it's not loving to affirm a child, you're sick. You are actually sick. So what's the next thing we got to affirm, kids, right? Oh, where's my bank account? What if my 12-year-old said, I want a bank account now, and I want you to put $100 a week into my bank account. And if you don't put $100 a week into my bank account, I'm going to go to school and tell them that you're neglecting me. Think about it. It's literally that. It's literally telling me to tell my child that they can have anything they want. Really? Ah, first off, ain't happening, dude. Secondly, cry all day like I care. You're a big baby. What? I grew up in such a different time that I think really I don't even wanna say that. I actually don't even wanna say that because when you're a kid, kids are communists. When you're a kid, we've all been kids. That's one thing me and you have in common is me and you have been kids. It's kind of funny. But one thing me and you know is when you're a kid, you're gonna wanna manipulate your parents. What do you mean I can't go to Magic Mountain? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Good. Hate me all you want. Go to bed. Go clean up the dog shit. Take out the trash. That's where I come from. If I ever said, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, oh no. Ain't happening in my house. And when I was a kid, that just wouldn't even be a thought process. One time I said something bad to my mom. I said the F word to my mom. I think I was like 15. And she told me to take the trash out. And I was like, F you. My mom's face dropped. She got on the phone. Remember the phone? She got on the phone with my dad. Seriously. And my dad came home from work early. My dad never came. He came home and he sat my ass down and he said shit to me that I will never forget, that I will not repeat here. Can be construed as child abuse. He verbally said shit to me that I never, ever said that again to my mom, ever. And I learned my lesson. So what's the problem, people? Why is this missing from parent child? Why are we missing this idea that you're the parent and they're the child? And how are we being manipulated by a group of freaks called gender affirming care activists? How are me and you being gaslit? And why are we letting people gaslight us around kids? And why are we letting them tell us something we know 100% is not true? Why? Why are they putting us in a position? Yeah, I see a lot of people writing fear here, for sure. But what are we fearful of? I don't understand. What are we, I will tell you this as an old trans person, I was fearful to sit here with you all. There's no doubt. I was fearful to say what I say now without any hesitation. I hesitated for a while. I saw trying to make up for lost time. I actually did fear kind of going against the trans space. Gaslighting, there's no doubt. But I feared it. I feared sitting here with you all and speaking the way I'm speaking, which now, as you know, I don't give a shit when anybody thinks about me. I could give a fuck because I care about those kids. That's the most important thing to me is these young kids not being trans. That is the number one most important thing. And I know I'm right. In my heart, in my gut, in the universe, I know everything I say about trans kids is 100% right. I do not feel wobbly. I do not feel any of it. I know I am right based on facts, based on my own experience, and based on children. So I get it. I get us all being a little bit like, do we really want to get involved in this? Is it really my space to do that? Do I want to be called transphobic? I'm scared of those crazy people. All of the above. I was very scared. I'm not anymore. And why I sit here today with all of you and I create these really, 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 really horrible videos because I want to encourage you to see outside of your own self. And I want to encourage you as an adult to say enough is enough. And if you and I, okay, me as a transsexual and you as a non-transsexual, I don't care if you're LGB, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you and I, doesn't even matter if we're not in the same community. We are in the same universe. And that to me is a community. And if you and I, as people from even different walks of life, different ways of being, different all of it, can show the world that we care about these young people, we're going to change it all. We're going to change gender affirming care. We're going to change these scary counselors. We're going to change the LGBTQIA pee poo poo complete total indoctrination. We're going to save so many children from going through hell and back. We're going to save kids from being not only medically destroyed, but mentally destroyed. That's what I want you to see. I want you to see the power in creating a one-track focus right now, which is the kids. Everything else will come. But if you and I don't become a community, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't care. But if me and you don't show that this is all bullshit and start calling it out, you can't be fearful anymore. I'm telling you right now, you cannot be fearful. There's no such thing as transphobia. They took that off the table when they started calling me transphobic. That doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. There's no such thing as transphobia. You don't hate trans people. That's what transphobia is. You don't hate trans people. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Secondly, you care. Okay, you care because you wouldn't be sitting here with me today. You wouldn't look at my videos. You wouldn't support what I'm trying to say here if you actually didn't care. You show up. It's the holiday. It's Labor Day. You should be out laying out in the sun, drinking a beer, having a pool party, doing whatever. But here you sit with me. That says to me you actually care about what's happening. It's your day off from work. We don't get to have days off anymore. No, no. Our job are these kids. And I'm telling you today, I'm not going to stop. Okay. The videos are insane. People, you check in with me. I appreciate it very much. If you notice, I want to bring this up real quick here. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. Okay. 1 hour is good. But I want to show you this one thing. Okay. I don't know if you've all watched the latest video that I put up here, and then I'll do the super chats real quick, but I want to show you this right here. So, I think you all might have watched this video. Do you see that? What it says right there? Wait, hold on. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. Hold on. Wait, sorry. Do you see what it says on the video? They put this last night. I released this video and I got a message this morning from YouTube that people were concerned with me whether or not I was going to create self-harm. And I thought that's interesting. Are people reporting that something? But I think what it actually meant and that people were concerned for me. Okay. So that's cool. I have no issues with people being concerned with me. I think that's great. But I want you to see what YouTube put on the front of this heartbreaking video. The following content may contain topics related to that and self-harm. Can't even say it because they'll block the video. That's kind of awesome. I know. I actually will tell you that I think it's great that they put this here. You want to know why I think it's great? Because this is all about this young person standing in front of a train. And I think it's so important that this message is now getting out there, right? Like it's actually getting out there, and that there might be some kids watching. There might be some kids watching this video and they're going to need help. So the fact that YouTube put that on the front of this video, at first I was like, oh, God, there it goes. People are trying to block my videos because they do all the time. They report me, right? They report me, blah, 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 blah. I get reported all the time, you guys. It's like the trans activists. If you don't know, you've got to know. The trans activists hate me, and they're literally trying to get me off this platform. I get reported constantly. That's why your likes on this video, your likes on all of it, all the comments, push my video up. And YouTube likes it when that happens. The more popular you are on this platform, the less censorship you get, just so you know. So again, appreciate all of your support with these videos because I cannot do it without you. This is how this all works. But I think at first I was kind of like, oh God, here we go again. But now I'm like, no. And then do you see at the bottom of the video? You see at the bottom there, it says, you're not alone, 988 crisis hotline. So this is fantastic. They have an actual they put a direct number to the hotline from this video. Okay. I was like, wow. So even if you go to watch this video You have to click something that says this video has you know, stuff on here you might want to be careful with. I actually find that to be amazing. Amazing. Because what if there is a person who's going to watch this who is thinking about sort of taking themselves out? There's an actual number given to you now that you can call. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention there, because at first I was like, "Oh god, here we go again." But the second time, I think it's actually really great that they're really acknowledging the high rate of people, of young people feeling like taking themselves out. So with that, let me do these super chats so I can let you all go and you can go enjoy the rest of your day. And I appreciate you guys so much. And so we have some members. Thank you for becoming a member, Shelly. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I'll be doing a members only live real soon here. Okay. So thank you guys for doing that. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Hey, Sherry. Thank you, friend. You're awesome. Thank you, friend. And then we have Den Mother. Hey, Den Mother. How you doing, friend? We also need to let them know that they can't change sex through hormone. Yeah, that's like the biggest message. That is one of the biggest messages that I really tried to convey. You cannot change your sex. Stop it. Just stop it. Hey, Sherry. FYI, y'all. Elon Musk lost his son. Yeah, that's right. He did. He's very mad about it. But see, here's where I tread this really weird line, because I exist, people. I am an actual real transsexual. It actually helped. But I did it as an older person through a whole structure, through years of therapy. And then I made the choice in 32 years of this. You can't discount that I'm pretty solid. And it's why I need to be present in this conversation, because it's not for everybody in any way, shape, or form. It's not. Hey, watcher, thank you, friend. Just thank you for the space where we can disagree and be honest. Oh, that's what I love about you guys. I love that you disagree with me on things that it's boring when everyone's agreeing with you. Like, what? Don't agree with me. If you don't, you can vote for whoever you need to vote for. That's what I love about America. Go live in another country and you'll realize how America is awesome. Okay, I've lived and been around many other countries. Thank you for the super sticker, Stacy. I do appreciate that. Thank you, friend. It's like these people take advantage of what they have here and they don't even realize it, right? Jane Marie says, I'm a Democrat too, but this year I'm voting for Trump. Thank you for standing up for the kids and trans community, Buck. Love you and keep fighting. Oh, thank you for being so honest. That's the other thing I love. More and more people are being honest about being a Democrat and voting for Trump. You don't think that fucks up the system? That totally fucks up the system, which I think is awesome, because we have to disrupt. We have to actually disrupt our political system. It's not.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
That was my, obviously, did you guys hear that? That was my Siri, which is actually creepy that she actually said that. When I said, wow, did you, wait, I have it on silent, which is actually weird. Did you hear what she said? That was actually creeping me out. I'm not kidding. I'm actually creeped out. Dharma, hey, Dharma, friend. Dems are losing BIPOC votes and want to allow illegals to vote, but it's unconstitutional. But they are going to, it's weird. Why would you want illegals or whatever you want to call them to vote? Why would anyone think that's okay? That is unbelievable to me. It's so against everything this country stands for. You can't vote unless you're an American, period. Hey, Eileen, I always pronounce your name wrong, but hi, beautiful friend. The most dangerous for a society is when there are big economic differences between people, and it's getting more and more common in Sweden too. Oh yeah, Sweden is also losing ground with people, 100%. Thank you for that. Hey, watcher, no social media before 18. I think we need to make laws, 100%. I sound old. I don't care. I'll be old. Nope. We should not have kids on social media until they're 18. 100%. If you're going to drink booze, smoke cigarettes, get tattoos, how come those are laws? What's wrong with making social media a law? There's no law. I bet if we put that on the ballots, people would vote for it. I pretty much overwhelmingly people would vote yes on that. I do. Den Mother says the United States is a republic based in democracy and thought and action. I don't even know what's going on, friend. I'm actually confused. I meant that the United States is a republic based in democratic thought and action. Well, we're supposed to be a democratic country. We're actually supposed to be. Hey, watcher, put Ronnie on the show if she wants. Wait, who's Ronnie? I'm confused. Oh, here's Ronnie. My teenager told us she's trans. We didn't support it. Send me an email, Ronnie, if you want to talk a little bit more. And I have great resources for you. Okay. Elan says it's so crazy that all detransitioners. It is. Autism is part of this whole thing. Everybody, it 100% is. There's no doubt in my mind. They are targeting trans autistic kids. 100%. Thank you for becoming a member, Low Water. Thank you. Thank you. Can't do this channel without you guys. Nicola says, I don't have children, so I get told I have no right. Nope, that's not true. To have an opinion, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But to me, it's no. You literally get to have a voice, Nicola. You were a kid. That's ridiculous. You actually get to have a voice. Don't let people gaslight you like that. That is then why are these people talking for trans people who aren't trans? Trans mothers. You're not trans. Like, what are you talking about? Jennifer says, keep up the healthy caution, Buck. Don't let them silence you. Oh, never. Ain't ever going to silence me. Good luck. Good luck. I've been to actual real hell and back. You cannot knock me down. You can't. Why you can't knock me down? I base everything I sit here with you on, not only from truth, but from my own lived experience. Okay. I have a lot of old man lived experience here. So don't tell me. I live half my life as a female, as a woman, whatever you want to call it. And I've lived half my life as a man. Okay. So I'm in a really, really special space that I do not take advantage of in any way, shape, or form. You cannot knock me down and you cannot tell me to shut up. I will find another space to speak in. Okay. But here's the deal. I want to stay here. I want to fight back against the system and I need your help to do it. And the reason I always ask you to like these videos and the reason I ask you to comment and the reason I ask you to push me is because when you push me, I'm the man who can speak. I am literally the guy who can make the things that we all want to say here. We're in alignment. I prove it to you every time we do these lives. We are in alignment here. So if you help me to get my voice on this platform bigger and stronger and more powerful, you and I will make the change you and I want to see. We can't let these other people continue to gaslight us and tell us what we're saying is wrong and to transition children as if it's literally okay. They are trying to silence us. And so on some way, shape, or form, we have to build our own space and say, no, you're not. It's not going to happen. We don't agree with you. And we're Americans and we don't have to agree with you. And we could create our own space and we can create our own powerful pushback on you. The problem is a lot of these platforms are captured. Okay. And a lot of those wingnuts work in these platforms. So there is silence happening. And I don't care what anybody says. It's actually happening. I witness it every day with my channel. Okay. Amy and the pup. I love what you are doing. Keep it up. The kids need us. Us. Keyword. Us. The kids need us. Thank you for that, friend. This is not mine. This is not yours. It's ours. Together, we're creating such a beautiful space here. And when you do all these things, thank you, friend. When you do all these things and you become a member and you do all that, it's just, but I'm never going to push you to it. I'm not. If you want to do it, do it. I value it very much, but I'm not here to ask you for anything except for to comment, like, push, if you can, participate in these conversations, help us to start to push back on this bullshit for kids. Let's just really get on this with the kids. I don't want to have to keep doing these horrifying videos. And if you haven't seen this video, I'm just going to play a little bit of it for you because I think I want to leave you with this so that you can understand what we're doing here. Okay. Because if you understand what we're doing here, and you understand the importance of these videos, I'm going to leave you with something. Okay. So it's actually pretty devastating. So hold on one second. Just be ready for this. Okay.
They allow her to change her name from Jaylee to Andrew. She was taking the hormones. She was not happy. She changed her name, was not happy. Everything that they done didn't work. In the morning, like 8:15, I received a phone call from the coroner's office.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going. Please watch the rest of that. I'm going to ask you. Please watch the rest of that video. Please pass it to people who think they have transgender children. Please pass it around to people who are supporting trans kids. Please pass it around to people who you might think benefit from it. In order for you and I to continue to save these young kids, that video is horrifying, and it just was. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm not going to stop. You can say everything you want to say about me. You can try to call me every name in the book. I'm not going to stop. I see it all. I see the manipulation. I see the torture. I see the breaking up of families. I see the full on bullshit platform you're building with trans kids. I see what you're trying to do to these kids. I see it all, and it's not going to happen. And we are building a huge platform here, and we are going to push back on every single one of you people out there. And any trans parent out there, if you need help, you reach out to me. I have lots of resources for you. Okay. But your kid is not trans. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, go now and get off the internet and drink a beer and have some good time with your family. And I'll catch you guys all on Wednesday on the live. Don't forget, Wednesday live, 12 noon. We'll have a great conversation, and I'll pick up from there. Okay, thank you guys so much. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy it. Vote.